I watched you on TED. I then saw and everybody. It was the whole internet freaked out because this is a fascinating new sort of way to compute and interact with technology. But tell us what it does and how it works, if you could.
Yeah. So this is AI Pin. It's the world's first AI-powered mobile compute device. It works by using natural language, touch on the touchpad, and gesture, and is capable of doing just about everything that you can do on a conventional phone, with a lot of new things that use things like contextual compute, optical sensors to bring in what you see around you when you want it. It's privacy first, so it's not always recording. It's actually just doing things when you want it on demand.
Is it doing something right now, or are you
It's
recording
not.
us?
It's doing nothing right now.
But this is all about sort of a screenless thought process about how sort of we interact. But it's all mostly voice, some hand.
Yeah, and so the hand is, I can bring up a laser projection system, which I can show you right now. And turn around, maybe you can get that on camera.
Oh, yeah. I see your hand, yes. I see your hand.
Can you see
what's
that?
Yeah, what's that telling you?
So this is a display when you need it. It's just capable of doing a lot of things, but it's not something that you need because the device is actually built to be multimodal. That means you can use it however you want.
Like what? Tell me something you would use that for.
So you use it for just about anything, like sending texts or checking up on any notifications that you've got in, stuff that you do just all the time.
How would I know without seeing a screen that somebody was texting me and I'm
so you get there's a speaker that's built in, and then there's a user LED called.
So that's what I want to ask you about. Is the expectation that people are going to use this with headphones on, without headphones on? Sometimes I'll be at a meeting, right? And I'm sneaking under the desk to look at my email because and I can't say, hey Siri, tell me my email, because I don't want the whole room to hear my email. So how does that work in this context?
So the device is powered by an AI-powered OS, which does a lot of those things that you would manually do underneath the table during a meeting for you, figures out who's really important, and then elevates those to you through a beacon that lets you know that a colleague or a family member is in touch or something that's urgent that's come up. And at that point, you can just raise your hand up and you can see what's important right there.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, as you can see, we're close to Star Trek. I did a video on this device, but you actually get a better chance of seeing how this is going to work, because we know the hologram is next. So instead of you having a handheld cell phone, your hand is going to be your screen. We've seen this in plenty of movies. Remember, your life is an illusion and TV is your reality. And this is just the first version. As we know, this device is going to be able to know you better than you know yourself. It's AI built in. It's going to be your personal assistant. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And then, guys, we have Gary Gensler still sticking to the script. Crypto has hurt a lot of investors. A lot of the players are not in compliance. And, guys, the reason why he's sticking to that script, because we know a whole lot of small and medium-sized banks have to tank. And we know a whole lot of these crypto projects have to tank in order for us to get inside the utility run for crypto. Remember, the emerging markets flip the switch next year, but it still takes 3 to 5 years to implement, to build. And the same thing goes for the United States. 2024, we're going to do regulation. 2025, we're going to flip the switch, but it still takes about 3 to 5 years. Don't forget 2025 is Jubilee year. And then 2028 to 2029, we have Shemitah. And there's going to be a big event that's going to open the gates to the metaverse. And in 2025, there'll be a big push for universal basic income. And your wallet is going to be automatically attached to that AI pin. So the only thing you have to do is say, pay this person, and they're going to get paid. Remember, it's going to be your personal assistant. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, It's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Staff of the commission is still hard at work on a number of issues, one of them dealing with a number of filings of spot Bitcoin ETFs. You know, Mr. Chair, I have to ask you this question. There's been a lot.
Suspected it's something very significant about the $26 trillion Treasury market, which is really the base of our entire capital markets. It's how we fund our government. It's how our Federal Reserve does monetary policy. It's how we maintain the dollar dominance around the globe. And you want to ask me about crypto?
In my defense, Commissioner Ueda also brought up crypto in this open meeting.
Priorities. I mean, crypto securities are not only much smaller, it's not how we fund our government, it's not how we conduct monetary policy, and for many investors, they've been harmed in that market, and they're being harmed because there's too much non-compliance. And it's not just non-compliance with securities laws, it's non-compliance with a raft of other laws. Our sister regulator in the market space, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the U.S. Department of Treasury, and Financial Crimes Enforcement. But again, I do ask, and if you look at the focus and the priorities, the U.S. Treasury market and what we did today is really quite important to our capital markets.
Absolutely, and that's why we have discussed it, but you are actively engaging with a number of matters related to crypto specifically. So I think, sir, this is fair game, especially when you are having staff meeting with a number of issuers in recent days.
I'm glad that you at least now agree that the priorities were more to the Treasury market. So what is your question about Bitcoin?
We have seen in recent days SEC staff engaging with issuers, of a number of which have filed for spot ETFs. We've seen a number of amendments to those filings. It seems that market participants in crypto have a sense that we are reaching the end stages here. Typically, is this kind of engagement with the SEC not prejudging anyone filing, but the level of engagement we are seeing signifying of things getting easier, closer to resolving, or things getting more difficult?
Again, we have, I think, somewhere between 8 and a dozen filings in front of this agency with regard to exchange-traded products around Bitcoin. And the staff of the various divisions respond when market participants have filings. We also had a court case earlier this fall in this regard, and so we do things according to our authorities and how courts interpret our authorities, and that's what we'll do here as well.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology, and I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important.
look, we have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.